High-tier knives are way too expensive. Why do they cost so much? If only there was another way. Well, everyone, there is. And today we're going to be talking about it. Welcome to the best budget knives in CSGO. Hey, what's up guys, it's Turbo here, and in the past we've taken a look at some of the most expensive knives in CSGO, but today we're going to be checking out some of the cheaper alternatives that more of you guys can afford. If this video is helpful, a like is greatly appreciated. And if you're looking to pick up one of these skins, the best place to go is Skinport, and using my affiliate link down below helps the channel in a huge way. So thank you. Let's get it, boys. And so it begins. And we're going to be starting off with the lowest price, and we're going to be working upwards as we progress. So first of all, we have the Nomad Knife Night Stripe Field Tested. And for the price, not going to lie, this actually looks pretty insane. You have the nice combination of different types of grays just all over the place. The Nomad Knife is surprisingly underrated. I mean, for $85, not a terrible pickup. Next up, we have the Gut Knife Autotronic. And I know what you guys are thinking, like, Gut Knife, ew. But honestly, the Autotronic is just built different. It looks so freaking sick. Like, look at it. Like, the blade is basically just silver white. You have that nice, vibrant red. And then the handle, of course, looks different too. It has like a cool textured grip to it. And honestly, for the price, this punch is well above its weight. Straight up. Also, the cool thing about Autotronics is they don't get scratched up. The only difference between a factory new and a battle scarred one is just the brightness. But field tested is right dab in the middle, and it looks incredibly clean. We're going back to back here because next up we have the Shadow Dagger Autotronic as well. Because these have such a cool, unique look, and like they don't really look like an Autotronic per se. I mean, they have the colors and everything, but it's just so clean and crisp, and these overall look phenomenal. Like, you have the red handles with the silver blades, and just the combination of that looks so awesome, in my opinion. We had to throw these on here. They're just too good to pass up. Speaking of too good to pass up, next up we have the Navaja Doppler, which has 4 different patterns that are affordable. Then there's a few that are a little bit more expensive, but it all just depends on your budget. So obviously phase 1 is a little bit more purple, and it's like the black pearl mixed with like a little bit of purple. Phase 2 is more the same, but it has more purple to it. And in my opinion, you know, phase 2 looks the best. But you move on to phase number 3, and this is kind of the ugliest one in my opinion. It has shades of blue, but then there's also a little bit of like green and yellow, and I mean, it looks all right, but it's not really my cup of tea. And then phase 4 is basically that, but more blue. And I feel like this is the closest to a sapphire, but you can obviously tell that it's not a sapphire because of those little burn marks on it. If you want to go above and beyond, you can always get yourself a sapphire, a ruby, or a black pearl, but those cost significantly more. I mean, if you want to get a sapphire on a budget, this is the way to go. If you want to spend under 120 bucks and get a sick knife, I think a phase 2 is the way to go if you can get one. Next up, we have the Big Mama Purple knife, the Bowie Freehand, which in my opinion is shockingly cheap for how it looks, because this is a purple knife that's pattern based that has a bunch of really cool artwork on it. And also it's a Bowie, so it's freaking massive. So it's literally just a cheaper version of an M9 bayonet, and it looks almost as sick. I mean, if you like purple, this is for you, boys. The Gut Knife Gamma Doppler is up next, and this is another phase-based skin. There's 4 different phases, well, technically 5. You have phase 1, obviously, which is, it's like blue and green, but it really doesn't look that great. You have phase 2, which is actually the closest to an emerald. So depending on how it looks, you could actually argue that it's a fake emerald, but I mean, it's basically just a dark green Gamma Doppler. Like, what more can I say? Phase 3 starts to add a little bit of teal to the mix. Yeah, it's like darkish greens, and then you have a little bit of light blue, just all mixed together. And it looks really unique. And then phase 4 is basically that, but instead of the teal, and you basically have lime green, which kind of brings it out even more. But obviously, it doesn't really look as clean as a phase 2, so it's all down to personal preference. And if you want to go all out, you can always go for an emerald. Warning, emeralds are pretty expensive because they're rare. Next up, we have a very clean knife, the Stiletto Ultraviolet. And essentially, this is the exact same as the Knight, but with one exception, because the handle has a little bit of purple. And I just feel like, you know, black and purple look really, really good together. Like, if you just have one color, it looks kind of bland, but when you start to add like contrasting colors that really add to it, I feel like it looks so much better. Also, the Stiletto is a nice, long, thin knife. Like, I think it's severely underrated. Overall, pretty solid. The Felon knife lore is up next, and obviously this isn't the craziest lore in the entire game. It's one of the cheaper ones, but in my opinion, they did a really good job with the Felon. It has the lore handle to a T, and then of course, even in field tested, it looks really clean. There's only a couple scratches on it. And I mean, for under $200 in market price, this knife definitely stands on its own. Ladies and gentlemen, the Huntsman Tiger Tooth is up next. And essentially, this is a hybrid between the M9 bayonet and the gut knife because it has the cool gut knife pullout animation where you flip it. And then of course, it has the surface area of an M9 bayonet, but for a fraction of the cost. And of course, because we went with the Tiger Tooth, the clear option is to go with factory new. So no matter what float you get, this is gonna look really insane. It's always gonna look clean. It's always gonna have that sick tiger design, and you're always gonna be able to flex on the haters with it. Easy. And last but not least, we have the M9 Bayonet Knight Field Tested, which I wanted to put at least one high tier knife on this list. A field tested Knight doesn't really look super clean. This is more of just oh, this has been through battle a lot, but it's an M9 bayonet and it's pretty decent. Now, if you want to go a step further and if you want it to look pretty decent, you have to go minimal wear, but on a budget, field tested is the way to go because it looks way better than battle scarred despite being a little bit more expensive. Also, this is more expensive than every other knife we checked out, so I just wanted to put it in just kind of for comparison. Like a lot of the knives we checked out today were definitely much nicer than this and for way cheaper. But anyways guys, if you enjoyed the video, like, comment, share, subscribe, and I want to give a huge thank you to everyone who watched until this point. I freaking love you guys. Anyways, hope you guys have a great and safe rest of your day. It's Turbo and I'm out. Peace.